My recent video uploads have gotten thousands of views and maybe 2 or 3 people that responded, Ryan, we're tired of you being wrong in all your predictions, because while I'm predicting the future on a, weeks to months out timeline, the fact that MicroStrategy and Bitcoin didn't break out within days meant that to them, I'm wrong. And my fragile ego can't handle it anymore. So in today's video, we're going to ask Chatgpt what it sees when it looks at the Bitcoin and MicroStrategy charts. Starting with this chart right here of Bitcoin on the log scale. I said, Chatgpt, I'm looking to invest money in the stock market. Please evaluate these charts and let me know if they look like a good investment or not. Here's its response to seeing Bitcoin on the log scale. First, logarithmic growth channel. The chart shows BTC price action confined within a long-term ascending log channel since about 2014. Price is currently trending upwards in the upper half of this channel, a bullish sign for long-term investors. Bullish continuation patterns. Multiple bullish flag and pennant patterns, and it put parentheses, red lines are visible and seem to have resolved to the upside. Recent price action also appears to be forming another bull flag, suggesting further continuation. Strong volume on breakouts. Each breakout leg marked in blue shows increasing volume, which validates buying pressure and momentum. Midline flip. Bitcoin has flipped the dotted midline of the channel into support, historically a very bullish signal. If this holds, it often indicates a potential move to the top of the channel, which could target between 160,000 and 300,000 over the next 12 to 24 months. I love that Chatgpt likes to make my life easy. It asked if I wanted to compare the Bitcoin chart to the MicroStrategy chart. So I went ahead, I uploaded the MSTR chart on the log scale that you see here, and it did a analysis for us side by side. Now, the Bitcoin evaluation is basically what we just read, and it says strong long-term buy. In summary, the technical outlook for Bitcoin. Now let's get to MSTR. Chart summary. Massive rounded base, nearly a decade-long accumulation base resolving upwards, textbook cup with handle formation. Multiple bullish consolidations, breakouts from downward trend lines and bull flags. Parabolic arc. Price currently hugging a parabolic curve can lead to explosive upside, not just explosive upside. And then it says, or sharp corrections if broken. Pros, leverage to Bitcoin. MSTR holds over 200,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, close to 600,000. And acts as a proxy for Bitcoin exposure. Okay, we know about all that stuff. Risks, extremely volatile. It says more than Bitcoin. Moves are amplified both up and down due to high leverage. And company fundamentals are now almost entirely dependent on Bitcoin, which I think is more of a plus than anything else. But all right, so investment verdict. Volatility. It says Bitcoin high. MSTR, extremely high. Trend structure. Bitcoin, stable within rising log channel. MSTR, parabolic breakout from long base. Leverage to Bitcoin. Bitcoin says direct exposure. MSTR says indirect leveraged proxy. Risk level for Bitcoin, it says high. MSTR, it says very high. And again, if you're going to say that, I think it comes down to the MNAV that you buy it at. I'm just saying personally, but I know you didn't want this video. It's not about me. It's about Chatgpt. All right. And best for long-term accumulation, Bitcoin, and MSTR, aggressive, high conviction, Bitcoin believers. It says bottom line, Bitcoin is a foundational asset, safer and more stable. MSTR offers amplified upside, but carries amplified risk. I had 2 additional charts prepared, one for Bitcoin and one for MicroStrategy, and I realized it's probably going to be redundant for the video, so let's just move on to the Coinbase chart. Now, I asked Chatgpt to analyze it, and I did tell it this chart is linear, even though the previous 2 are on the log scale, so let's get into it. It says chart summary. The chart shows a well-defined rising price channel in green with price currently mid-range. Price has bounced off the lower trend line around late 2022 and again in early 2023, both bullish signals. The 200-day moving average is sloping up and price is now holding above both the 21 EMA and the channel midpoint. It's actually not above the channel midpoint. If you zoom in, you can kind of see there, it's beneath it, but Chatgpt, I guess not perfect. Strengths. Higher lows show accumulation. Buyers are stepping in at higher levels. Volume spike near recent bottom in March 2025 suggests strong demand. Channel implies potential upside to $420 if price stays in range. And it says crypto market tailwind. Coinbase benefits from increased trading volume and sentiment when Bitcoin rallies. It says risks still below IPO highs, lagging Bitcoin and MicroStrategy in performance. Heavily correlated to Bitcoin, but with added regulatory and revenue model risks. Revenues mostly transaction fee based, cyclical, and vulnerable to market slowdowns. And the linear chart implies lower exponential potential versus Bitcoin or MSTR. So you're seeing it here, although I hope it's not biased because the other two charts I showed were exponential, but they also are vastly outperforming Coinbase for what it's worth. So the investment verdict for Coinbase, it says intermediate term bullish, especially if it holds $230 and breaks $280, which is closer to breaking 280 than it is to 230. It says a safer stock market crypto play compared to MicroStrategy, but slower moving. Ideal for those who want crypto exposure without directly owning Bitcoin or going ultra high risk with MSTR. Interesting, Chatgpt thinks MSTR is such high risk. I think it's just because it's on the cusp of that, parabola, either breaking out or breaking up. Final thoughts, here we go. Bitcoin is the safest long-term play with exponential potential. MSTR, highest upside if Bitcoin rips, but very volatile. And Coin has good mid-tier exposure, less upside, but more business diversification. Interesting, guys. Hey, you cannot blame me. This was all ChatGPT. Thank God. It seems to be in line with what I've been seeing in the charts recently. So if you're bullish on MSTR and Bitcoin, let me know in the comments. And that's about it. I'll see you guys soon with another new video.